Hello everybody, it is Otto von Bismarck here, and I've been playing a lot of Among Us, as I'm sure many of you have too. And so I decided that I wanted to do a top 10 tips, tricks, and strategies that can instantly make you a better player. So tip number 1, when playing as a crewmate, you want to focus on your task more than anything else. Show the other players that your main priority is completing all your tasks. Say things like, I only have one task left, and when I'm done, I'll stand by the emergency button, or I'll stay with X person / color so that if they die, I can report it right away, or if I die, then they can report it. Be careful with the second one though, because if the person you're going to partner with is an imposter, then they can easily frame someone else. So I normally stick with the emergency button. Instead of the emergency button, you can also say, med bay or security, admin. The main point here is to demonstrate that your objective is to do your part and complete all your tasks. If you play with the same group of people, this will benefit you immensely, as the other players will unconsciously feel safer around you and find you more trustworthy. The reason for that is because your mission is not going to be to hunt someone, but to just finish all of your tasks. Point number 2, in conjunction with the last point, once you die, make sure to complete all your tasks. And also, even more importantly, show the other players that you're not afraid to be voted off or killed by the imposter, because just like the last point, your main goal is to complete all of your tasks, and being killed will not affect your ability to do that. A common thing I like to use is to say, you guys can vote me off, that's fine, I'll still complete all my tasks. This will reinforce the fact that you only care about completing tasks to win the game, and when playing with the same group, they will see that if they vote you off and you were a crewmate, that you were sincere and telling the truth. Hence, the next time you say it, they will be much more likely to believe you. Tip number 3, as an imposter, do not fake visual tasks. Doing so will completely give away your position, and it will shift your focus away from hiding the fact that you're the imposter to proving the other person who's accusing you of the imposter, to making sure that others believe that the person accusing you of being the imposter is actually the imposter and not you. Tip number 4, many times there's often a person who will firmly and vehemently accuse someone as a way of getting them voted off by the crew. And what I'm talking about is, we all know that person who says, red did it, I saw them, they vented, they killed this person, or blue, or put in whatever color you want. But their main tactic is they immediately gain control over the conversation by accusing one person. The way this works is that because in the heat of the moment, you have to make a quick decision. If somebody is accusing another person very passionately, very strongly, it feeds on other people psychologically that, okay, that person must be telling the truth since they have so much emotion in what they're saying. The most effective way to minimize this is to say to the person who's accusing somebody else, all right, we'll vote that person off, but if you're wrong, then we will vote you off next. This statement gives consequences to just randomly accusing people, with the penalty for being wrong is getting voted off next. It will also encourage people to only strongly accuse someone if they know that that person is for sure an imposter. Again, this amplifies if you're playing with the same people over and over again, because slowly individuals are going to stop strongly accusing somebody unless they know it to be true. And most importantly though, is that say somebody's right 5 times in a row, they accuse someone, correct, they accuse someone, correct. Say it happens 5 times. Well, if they accuse someone on the 6th time and they're wrong, the consequences still need to be the same, because if they're not, then there are people, very few people, who will follow along with the rules until everybody trusts them, and then they will manipulate the other players, use that tactic of accusing somebody, saying, all right, vote me off if I'm wrong, and accusing other players. And on the 6th time, they won't say, vote me off if I'm wrong. Everybody might just believe them, they vote that person off, and then they don't get voted off. An extra note is to apply this penalty every time, so it doesn't matter if you were right 5 times in a row. If you get it wrong the 6th time, then you should get voted out still. I know it doesn't seem fair, but what is worse is when somebody is right, gets everybody's trust, and then uses that trust to manipulate the other player's decisions in a sinister way. And plus, if they're being honest each time, then they do not have to worry about getting ejected. Tip number 5. As the imposter, you have a list of priorities to think about when killing a crewmate. It goes in order: witnesses, location, and then who. The most important is witnesses. Make sure that there are 0 crewmates to witness it unless you're able to pull a 1000 IQ maneuver to get a person who witnessed it ejected. And that should only be done late game because they will know to vote you off next. Or you can kill in a crowd, but make sure that the crowd is very tightly knit and you want to maximize the number of players in the crowd in order to maximize the confusion. Also, it's fine if the other imposter witnesses it for obvious reasons. Second is location. While not as important as witnesses, location can be the difference between winning and losing as the imposter. Ideal locations are ones that include vents, most importantly, and are not monitored. Try to kill somewhere near a vent and then immediately use the vent to put as much distance between you and them as possible. Also, when they find the body, make sure that you are in a room or area that does not have a vent. So then you can say, well, there's no vent in the room I'm in, so how did I kill them and then somehow get to the other side of the ship in a room that doesn't even have a vent? Only want to say that as a last resort because the initial presumption is that you are guilty and now you're trying to explain how absurd that is, but it still puts the thought into other people's heads that you're guilty. Secondly, try to kill where there are no cameras around. Ideally, you would get a kill, vent out of that room to another room, leave the other room, and have no cameras see you at all during any of those steps. But if one has to see you, you let it happen later in the series of steps rather than earlier. Another thing is who. This really only applies to when you play with the same group of people. The thing is that you don't want people who wronged you, betrayed you, or hurt you to be your first couple of kills, because if someone screwed you over in the last game, now you're the imposter and you kill that person first, everyone will know that you have a motivation for killing that person. You can also use this to trick people by saying, well, if I was the imposter, then I would have killed this person first because they screwed me over last time. Also, find places where there is extremely low traffic and prioritize killing there. My favorite spots on the scaled are medbay and comms because people rarely go into them. And if they do, it's only one person for one task. But make sure that you take them out deep in the room away from the hallway so that a person has to enter the room to see the body and will not be able to see the body from the hallway. Point number 6. A tip for spotting the imposter if you suspect someone is to check and see if the taskbar goes up when they are completing tasks. If it doesn't, then they could be the imposter. However, I say could be since it will not go up if the comms have been sabotaged. So make sure they are not sabotaged, and then you will know for sure if someone is faking a task. Point 7. If you're a crewmate and saw them do visual tasks, then stay with that person and communicate with them during meetings so that you two can stay together since you know that both of you are not imposters. Tip number 8. Self-reporting is one of those strategies an imposter can use. However, they need to use it carefully. The optimal time to use it is when you fake entering a room and report it. An example would be if I was to vent to another room, kill someone, I should then get out of that room, and if I decide to come back, I should enter via the door and not via vent. And I need to act as if I was a crewmate and stumbled upon it. Killing someone and then self-reporting is tricky because if the rest of the group knows that no one else was at that area, then the only person who could have killed them and reported them was you. Point number 9, sabotaging. Sabotaging is key and should be done as much as possible. It is the same thing as throwing a rock into a machine with moving parts. It messes everything up and causes chaos for as long as it lasts. My personal favorite is the lights because it makes getting kills easier and lowers the chance of finding bodies. Point number 10, lastly, as a general rule for both crewmates and imposters, always move with a purpose. Don't follow people around unless you talk about it as a strategy in the chat, and do not wander. You should move your character in a way that when other people look at you, they say to themselves, that person is on a mission, or that person's sole purpose right now is to finish her task. Doing this should minimize suspicion, as it will subconsciously and subtly tell people that your focus is entirely on tasks, which is what a crewmate would do. It also makes you more innocuous. So those are my top 10 tips, tricks, and strategies in Among Us. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Please give the video a like if you did enjoy, and hit that subscribe button. I really appreciate it. Also, put down your favorite tips, tricks, and strategies in the comments. Let me know if you agree, disagree, have anything else to add, and I'll see you in the next one.